Hey guys, it's DuconRed1 and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you my second Worldpainter map. You'll notice the screen is rather scratchy again, low FPS, because I wanted to render this out for you guys so you could see pretty much the whole map of everything that we're looking at. There is a good bit more that we're not able to see right now. But this shows you a pretty good idea of what is going on here. So I made a Norwegian themed fjord, or a fjord themed off of Norwegian fjords. Basically, a fjord is a deep cut canyon through the mountains carved out by glaciers during the Ice Age. And I will show you how this all works out. I even made a glacial path that goes up the mountains to a lake at the top up here where the water would collect. Now you will notice that the snow line is rather flat. That's because of a mistake I did early on, and I wasn't able to go all the way back enough in order to fix it. So instead of going over it and messing it up even more, I decided just to leave that as it is and learn for next time. So yes, there is a flat snow layer there, so we'll just have to deal with that for this map. I put a lot of vegetation down, a lot of pine trees. I used Monsterfish's tree pack, and I really think that works out really well with all these pine trees around. And I used a lot of the new mod blocks and such in the pack. I really like all these different grasses and things. I am using the TME shaders. For those of you that are interested, it's the Too Much Effects shaders. You can easily find those out from Crankerman. He's the one that made those shaders, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, there's a lot of different things in here. Now, this is not realistic. Like, I didn't really research into what kind of plant life is in Norwegian fjord maps, or fjord terrain, Norwegian plant life in general. I tried a little bit, but there wasn't really much that, I didn't go deep into it. So anyways, that is that, and I'm pretty happy with the result of this map. It is only in Worldpainter, no World Machine. It's only with brushes and stuff. It took me about, I'd say about 4 days, probably 2 to 5 hours each day to make this map, mainly because, again, like the last map, I had to do some troubleshooting, so there was a lot to be done. Again, Piglin was screen sharing over Skype with me, and he was able to give me suggestions and ideas on things that I could do to make the map better than what it is currently. So he gave me a lot of suggestions and a lot of things that I could do. So I learned a lot of things from that, and I really like the result of what we came out with. Still, I'm not 100% happy with the result of this map. Nothing like you can get with World Machine, but in essence, I'm pretty happy with what it turned into. So I'll show you, we'll go around and kind of show you guys what different things that I added in that I'm pretty happy with and things that I'm not so happy with. So anyway, it's time to explore. Before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and show you the above map. So this here is the above map. All this sort of tan area up here is all snow, and then all this green layer is where all the grass is and such. You'll notice that there's a little bit of an odd shading there. You won't notice that in the game or anything, but I put mushroom biome up here towards the top to sort of darken the grass. And then when you get towards the valley, it's lusher and greener. Someone had suggested that in the last video to have greener grass towards the valleys where the water would collect more. Here's the Glacial Lake, and you'll see that there's this path coming around. That's where the glacier would have carved through the mountains and on down into the fjord part here. This part is actually really deep, so we'll go over that and I'll show you how deep that is. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. Now, before we get into the map, I want to tell you guys I will provide this for download over on Planet Minecraft if we reach 250 likes on this video. The last one reached about that much, so if we reach about 250 likes on this video, I will provide this for a download over on Planet Minecraft, and you guys can download it and enjoy it for yourselves. Now, just remember, you must have the Conquest mod in order to use this map. You will have to have downloaded that and such. I have a previous video on my channel showing how to do that, and also yeah, there's some information there. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get right into this and show you guys what's going on. So you notice that the valley slowly comes up and there's this sort of gravel path here. Now the gravel path is sort of the riverbed or glacial bed where the glacier would have dug deep down into the ground as it was coming down the cliffs. Now there is a few bugs up here with how this glacier, how this lake turned out, but as you can see, it's pretty deep right here. And this is where the water would collect, like all the melted snow would collect in this basin. And then when it would overfill, it would come down this this hill here, and the water would pour into the fjord itself. Now I know I didn't represent that very well. There should be sort of like a indent in the terrain in order to get it all the way around the cliffs here. In order to, you know, right now it doesn't feel like the water really has anywhere to go, like it just kind of would go everywhere. And obviously there would be some sort of indent in the ground, so maybe that's something you guys can do in your if you guys download the map to build on it. You can make this little like basin all the way down, not very big, just something small, nothing too fancy. Now there's a lot of places to build on this map too. I mean, you can clear the trees, you can do a lot of things with this. You can add in lots of space for different stuff, like maybe there's a quarry in this little section here. I thought that would be a good idea, or maybe a mine, who knows. There's a lot of different things you could do with that area. If we go this way, there's lots of space to build maybe a village or a town back here. It's kind of like I was inspired to do something like this from watching the show Vikings. Kattegat is built at the head of one of those Norwegian fjords, which is the hometown of Ragnar Lothbrok and the main Viking, where like basically the headquarters of the Vikings for that series is. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of what I was wanted to do this for. And I really liked how it turned out. I think it really, I mean, it could be better, but still, I'm pretty happy with the end result. Now, like, you could put like a fort up here, up towards the top. There's plenty of space up here to do that. There's also all this space up here. Now, there is a good bit of space over this way. Now, you could basically make this into like a European style map if you want to, and build some European style castles. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You can do whatever you want. But yeah, I made this sort of flat area up here so people could build maybe a castle or something. Who knows? There's a lot of different things you could do, but it's kind of a defensible piece of terrain here, overlooking the fjord down here. It's a really a good place to overlook everything from up here. There is some terrain over on this side, but yeah, there's like a nice another little flat area over here that you can build on as well. Again, lots of things you can do. I'm still not happy with that snow layer. It's really tempting to go back in and really mess with it to try to fix it up, but I feel like because what happened is I'd had to delete the frost layer, and then I'd had to delete the snow layer, and that could get really messy, and it could make it look not very good again. So I don't really want to mess with that. I guess there might be an easier way, but still, one way or the other, lesson learned. I won't do that for the next time. I did just like a straight brush all the way across when I should have noised it a good bit. So yeah, here's the mountains. I did a lot of different things here, and I also experimented with the cave brush. There's the option in Worldpainter where you can add little caves in and stuff, and I made these little sort of water caves, these little caves that you can go in and do whatever you want in there. There's little spaces. I made a few of them around, like there's this one over here, two little caves combined. Here, let me go ahead and grab some torch. You can't really see, but let me get back outside. But yeah, there's little caves all around the cliffs there. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, so basically what the fjord is, I had told you, is a glacial path, and what happens is in this water part here, it gets really deep. Let me go ahead and change to some shaders that you can see how deep it goes. We're going to change to those. And as you can see, it gets pretty darn deep here, almost unrealistically deep. If you guys, know much about rivers or anything, but this isn't a river, it's a fjord. Now technically it's supposed to go deeper than that. It's supposed to cut like 1,000 meters underneath the surface of the water. The reason why it I need to fix that. That's not supposed to be dirt right there. But yeah, the reason why it does this is because the Glacial Lake would cut really far down in this part. Like it didn't cut down maybe back over here. It slowly cuts down. But yeah, I tried to keep realism as far as like how the glacier sort of forms and how it works and all that. I try to keep that all in mind. I think I did an okay job with that, but there's still some little discrepancies and things like that around that could be worked on. But yeah, so we're gonna keep moving on. I'm sorry if you guys hear kind of like a weird, like my voice is kind of weird today. I just got my wisdom teeth out this weekend, so still recovering from that, but I gotta talk kind of weird in order to be able to talk. So I like this part here. I like these little crevices and cliffs and things. I really like how this turned out. This part I was experimenting with what is called in World Machine as flow paths, but obviously in Worldpainter it's just you kind of paint it in. But this is where the erosion, all the water would kind of erode from, and it would come down into the fjord down here. But yeah, I really like how that turned out. Also, I put another sort of glacial path here for maybe a small little glacier that had occurred a long time ago. But yeah, it's like just this little path here where a glacier would have carved through. I think that turned out pretty good. What are some other things? But yeah, also I only did angles as far as texturing is concerned in this map. Somebody over on Twitter had suggested that I try to use specific texturing for specific areas instead of just taking an angle of a texture to an angle and then applying it to the whole terrain. I'll have to work with that and figure out how that works and decide on what works best, and it would definitely be a challenge, so I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, let's go back to these highlands back here. As you can see, all the highlands are snow. The reason I did that is because, again, I was going off of the Norwegian kind of fjord kind of thing, and in some of the pictures, the highlands overlooking the fjord was snow covered like this. And there was waterfalls coming down, but most of the waterfalls and things can be added in during if someone decides they want to build on it. So if you guys want to add in stuff like that, you can easily add that in while you're building and create nice little waterfalls and things. But yeah, this again is more highlands back here. Lots of space where you guys can build. I didn't put any trees up here. I don't think it's really realistic to put trees up in this high altitude. But you guys can still do that, whatever you want to do. I put more float paths or erosion paths up here that go all the way down to the fjord itself. So we'll go ahead and just kind of follow this down, follow the gravel, and it kind of meets up with this stuff down here. But yeah, then there's this float path here, and it heads right on down to the gravel or to the water basin down here. But yeah, there's still some more mountains over here. So it's, a 1,000 by 1,000 map is a pretty big map. It's not quite big enough for like a large team to build on, or like a server to build on or anything, but maybe 3 people want to build on it. I think it's plenty big enough for that. So if you guys want to build on this, again, 250 likes on this video, and I will put a download over on Planet Minecraft, which I will also link to the video here so you guys can check that out. Let me go ahead and put on back on my Conquest of the Sun shaders so we can see it a little better. Now, I do like the TME shaders much more, but it's much more resource intensive. It makes my computer lag a lot, and we don't want that. Right now I'm getting about 30 FPS in videos, so that's what you guys want. You guys don't want the laggy kind of thing. You guys want the nice smooth, you like the nice smooth, whatever you call that, pan movements from side to side. So yeah, this is a Norwegian fjord themed map. Now, don't get too hasty on me about haranguing me about realism or certain things that you feel like are off. Again, I'm not really going super for the realism. I'm just kind of doing what I want to do. As far as plant life is concerned, at least, I tried to do relatively realism. Now, I know that the Glacial Path would have carved through here. Like, this should be cliffs over here, because it's almost like the glacier would come down through here and kind of push up against this terrain. But I really didn't like that, how it looked, so I kind of just smoothed it out to make the valley larger. So then there's a little realism thing that I decided to not go with, because I just wanted to smooth this out, more building space, and make it look just a little bit more valley-ish, you know? But overall, I think it turned out. But yeah, we got some patches of sweetgrass, nettles, and lily of the valley, some blackberry bushes. And if we go over here, we got some heather. Heather typically grows in large clumps, and so that's what people suggested me in the last video. But yeah, that is heather right there. And then I also did some lilacs and some of those small flowers, the smaller ones right there. But yeah, it's like baby lilacs or something, I don't know. I wanted to put bushes in, but I need to make my own tree pack that has bushes. I wasn't quite happy with the boreal pack that I used last time for the other map, so we will have to figure that out again for future maps. I will need to make my own little tree pack and use that in order to texture the put in foliage and stuff. And you'll notice this is the texturing I used. I used some of this dark granite. You'll notice that it's like in lines. That's because I did a method where you can use it in sort of like lines across so that it looks more like layered in a way. That's a very natural way of layering your terrain and such, so I liked how that looked. But anyway, I used that sort of pinkish marble, dark stone, mossy stone. The only difference between this terrain and the last terrain, and as far as the rocks and stuff is concerned, I used the marble here, and I used the light stone. Those are the only differences that are, you know, in this terrain. Also, I used snow up on the top. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. Also, the biomes and, you know, the overall look, it just doesn't look the same as the other map. But I do like how this one looks. Really turned out quite well, and I hope you guys are excited to be able to build on it if you guys wanted a map in the Conquest mod. Now, again, I emphasize to you, you must be in the Conquest mod in order to be on this map. Otherwise, everything will be sort of, it'll be all messed up. Like, there will be holes because, like, blocks like this will be missing. There will be a lot of holes in the terrain and such, and you guys don't want that. Like, all this gravel will be missing. That marble will be missing, stuff like that. So make sure you are in the Conquest mod in order to access this map. So thank you guys so much for watching. 250 likes, and I will put this over on Planet Minecraft. Thank you guys again for your support. We have reached 1 million views, 1 million channel views recently, and I just want to give you guys a huge thank you for that. You guys are awesome, every single one of you, for staying loyal and for viewing my videos and being faithful viewers. I appreciate you, and one day I hope to be able to get more than 1 video a week. I remember I was doing 3 videos a week not long ago, but yeah, so we're at 1 video a week for now because of time and time constraints, and it's, you know, makes my life so much easier being between all the different things I have in real life. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Till then, bye-bye.